little pregnancy update chit chat. I kind of just started this as a way to journal, as in a way to remember. I just don't have time to type like I did for Bryar. I really only have time to make quick videos. So, hi Levi. So this one's gonna be a little bit more authentic and raw, I should say, or not even authentic, but this pregnancy definitely has me feeling a different way in comparison to the first. Don't get me wrong, I am still so excited. I know it's going to be a beautiful birth, and I think there's just some days throughout the pregnancy that I just have bad days. So it's not a bad pregnancy, it's just a bad day throughout this pregnancy. I think I just have moments where I feel like I'm not doing enough for Bryar. I'm not doing enough for myself. I feel like I'm trying to put my hand in too many baskets at once, and it's really hard to juggle it, and I try to prioritize, but I have so many open tasks, and it I don't even know if this makes sense, but it feels like you're not getting anything done because you just have so many things started. Like, I'm the kind of person who will open up the dishwasher, start to unload the dishwasher, and then go off and start like cleaning up Bryar's playroom. So it's like nothing gets completed. So I'm like trying to take care of myself, Bryar, the baby, Austin, things around the house in sections when I should be picking a task, completing it, and then moving on. So that's going to be my big goal the rest of this pregnancy, is to focus more on giving time and making sure that I give my entire time to that thing that I'm focusing on, if that makes sense. So when I go to work out, I want to make sure that I'm just exercising. I'm not trying to like post content or like do other things while exercising. So that's going to be my big thing that I really want to focus on the rest of this pregnancy. I cannot believe that I am 25 weeks. It is going by insanely fast. A few things that have been noteworthy is I started to get like the little bit of rashes on my inside of my elbows and on my knees, which I had with Bryar, and I thought with the elimination of gluten. So I'm thinking that I may have ate something that had gluten in it, and that's kind of what triggered it, because now it's obviously like slowly going away. I also think the dry skin in the winter doesn't help at all. It's okay. Say hi, Oliver. I also think that the dry skin in winter just doesn't help, so I've been... What are you guys doing? So I've been making sure that I hydrate my skin constantly. We still have not done the anatomy scan. I wouldn't say we're on the fence about it, but to take this into a little bit of our like perspective on the decision making of like what tests and things that we want to do. So our insurance is POS. No, it doesn't stand for piece of shit, although it's pretty close. But it's in between a PPA or a PPO and a what is the other? It's like there's so many acronyms. H something. So it's kind of like an in between those two. And so basically they assign you a PCP, or you have to go in there and put your own PCP, and then whatever you want to do, you have to get that approved through your PCP. So my midwife, she wrote us it's I don't even know if it's a letter, but like I don't know. She wrote us obviously a note or something to go ahead and get that, a prescription, I guess it would be, to get that anatomy scan done. And so I looked through my insurance and I found a ultrasound scanning place to go and get it done. And so when I sent over the paperwork and everything, I sent over insurance, they were like, yeah, we can't accept this because it's not by your PCP that's listed on your insurance card. So what I've been trying to do is reach out to the PCP to see if she will go ahead and send out a thing to us, or a thing out for us, so that our insurance will cover it. If not, then we would have to find a place, pay out of pocket, and then I would have to, I don't know, I think I'm going to, like, at the end of all of this, after I have all the documentation, because we have to pay for the entire home birth out of pocket. Our insurance doesn't cover it, and a lot of insurances, even like some PPOs that we looked at, the midwife that we went with, she's not covered. And if they do, they only cover a small percentage of it. So like, let's say your home birth is like $4,000 or $5,000, they'll pay like maybe $1,000, and then you still have to pretty much pay for a lot of the tests yourself. So so what I'm gonna try and do is, when all is said and done, I'm gonna go ahead and see if if we can get reimbursed a little bit. And yeah, so that's kind of what we're on the fence about. An anatomy scan is about $300. And I talked to our midwife about it, and I was like, what are your thoughts if we do it or if we don't? Truthfully, I feel pretty good about it. Her main concern, I'm not even main concern, because she's very like, do whatever you feel. It doesn't matter to me. I'm open. Is placenta previa. She mentioned that, and that's if the placenta is growing or grew blocking the cervix, and that would cause problems. Therefore, you would have to get surgery. So that would be her concern. She said she's only seen it 1 out of the 400 births that she's done. And then obviously, like, the scan can tell you how much fluid, and then it goes in depth on, how your baby is growing. So the thing that would concern me would be the placenta previa, but I don't know why I'm so winded. Probably winded because I was just outside doing all the chickens. And a little side note, we found our first chick underneath the hens. If you watch any of my other videos about us hatching chickens right now. And so running back and forth with like the chicks and making sure everything was okay, that definitely got my heart rate up for the day. Okay, so to circle back, so we are still, the anatomy scan can be done at any time. I'm not too worried about it. I'm gonna figure it out with the PCP, see if she'll be able to assist. If not, then we're gonna make the decision on what to do. So I'm sure that'll be in our next update. We did meet with Shelly not last week, but the week before, and that was another eventful meeting. Everything looks good. The heart rate was good. My blood pressure is good. Bryar is a huge fan of the ultrasound and the ultrasound gel, so I'm gonna add some video from that.
Was 1:30. There we go. You like that? Baby's nice and excited. 150 now, so that's good. We heard them get excited. Always an adventure. Always. Wow. Whoa, that was wild. Right? Who's in cool? There? Yeah, the gel. Wiping off all the gel.
Also, my boobs have been so tender, so nursing him, like the initial latch, I'm like, ugh.
It's like, say hello. Hello. Hey.
So you tried a lot of things today. You ate painting class.
It's my baby. I like his little face.
Other than that, things are going really well. I would love to work out more, but I'm working out maybe once a week. I think I'm gonna go today, so that'll be twice this week. Again, it's just some things that I need to give back more to myself. I think I'm just so tired. Bryar went through this like 2-week span. I don't know if it was like an 18-month regression, but he went through like this 2-week span where he just was like waking up in the middle of the night screaming. He was having like these full-on tantrums. I was Googling that they were called like nap rages. But he would just get so, I don't know, get so upset that he would cry so hard, and nothing could distract him or stop them. We would just have to like let him go through his tantrum or work through it. And then he would come up to one of us and hug us, and then he would fall asleep. So that was 2 weeks. And then he was doing pretty well sleeping throughout the night. And throughout those 2 weeks, he went back to waking up like four or five times a night. Or yeah, he would wake up like 4 or 5 times a night. So that was a challenge for sure. I was also super sick. I had a sore throat. I had body aches. Probably the sickest I've been in like years. I will say being pregnant and breastfeeding is like the most sick that I've been, but like that whatever I caught really took me down. But we moved past that. Bryar's back to sleeping throughout the night. We still have little outbursts here and there, but like nothing in comparison. They were like every day, they were consistent. It was just very, very bizarre. But after that like 2-week span, now he speaks like a lot of words. So maybe we had to regress to be able to like learn a skill where now he just wants to speak all the time. So now he's a chatty Cathy, which is very cute. But we definitely went through it for 2 weeks. I felt like I was in the trenches. I was like, how in the world am I going to like do this? I started to feel a lot of movement. So maybe like 2 weeks ago, I started to feel pretty consistent movement, and now it's just all the time. So that's been awesome. It's like no matter how many times I feel like you get pregnant, it still feels weird seeing yourself pregnant, if that makes sense. We had a few gender guesses. Shilpa, the lady who does my eyebrows, I've been seeing her for 3 years. She's seen me through like my bodybuilding stage, my first pregnancy, my second pregnancy, and she said that she's basically always right on gender, which I have no reason not to believe her. So the first time with Bryar, I walked in with like a baggy sweatshirt on and a jacket, and she was like, "You're having a boy." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I ended up having a boy. And I saw her a couple weeks ago, and I walked in and she was like, "You're having a girl this time." So that is her gender prediction. And Austin thinks it's a girl. He says that I'm just more moody. So maybe I am more estrogen flowing through the bones. I have no idea. I wish I knew. I wish I had some sort of feeling. This pregnancy feels different, but I don't know if it's different just because I just have more responsibilities, but I don't know. Who knows? I wish I had like a firm feeling, but I really don't have a firm feeling. The Bryar, whenever we ask Bryar, I have a little video that I'll add. He says girl. I don't know if he knows the difference between a boy and a girl, but whenever we ask him, we're like, Bryar, is mommy having a baby boy, baby girl? And then we'll switch it sometimes. So it'll be like a baby girl or a baby boy. And he says girl. So maybe he's predicting that he's going to have a sister.
Right.
Is it going to be a baby girl or boy?
God.
Oh, no.
And I think a lot of our family members are thinking girl this time. But truthfully, a lot of our family members thought a girl last time. So who knows? Who knows? And pregnancy insomnia has been pretty rough. Some mornings I'll wake up like 3:34 and then I just can't go to bed. So I'll just lay there for a little bit and watch everybody sleep. Because I don't feel like doing anything, but I also don't feel like, I guess my body just doesn't feel like sleeping. So that's been going on. What else? I take some notes at the end of every week just so I know what to chat about. A few nights I did have acid reflux, pretty nasty. So I've learned my lesson. Not to eat a couple hours before bed, and then minimizing processed foods and sugars. So since I've done that, that has helped a ton. Just going to bed with acid reflux just sucks. So I definitely did that to kind of help. But other than that, everything is pretty spot on. And means I feel like I'm bigger this time. But then again, I look in the mirror and I don't see myself as big. But when I compare pictures, I could definitely see that there's a difference. But I know, obviously, that you always show more in your second pregnancy. And you're always going to look a little bit more pregnant than you did the first time. So that's also been crazy. Like when I get out of the shower and I walk past the mirror, I'm like, whoa, pregnant. Again, when I feel like I was just pregnant for the first time with Bryar. So that has been fun. I'm trying to think. I think also doing these videos helps me mentally. It honestly is a way of journaling for me. So I can't wait for all of us to like look back and kind of see what I was going through during these like weeks of pregnancy. Today has been a really tough day. I will say that mentally, as I mentioned earlier, just not feeling like I'm doing my roles really well. I don't feel like I'm being a good mom to Bryar. He threw some shoes at me today. So I just felt like he could feel my mood when I'm not being myself. Same with Austin. Sometimes I feel like I'm not being the best wife or partner. And I really need to figure out how to be able to juggle all of those positions and make sure that I'm also taking care of myself too. So it is, like I said, it's definitely a different go around this pregnancy. Your hormones are still running rampant, and man, yeah, it's just definitely a tougher journey. It's all good things though. Feeling very blessed that I get to experience this. That we get to go through this a second time, and that I have Bryar and Austin. So I will say, feeling incredibly blessed. So I just have to keep reminding myself in those moments where I'm feeling down on myself that I'm genuinely doing the best that I can. But all right, I won't get too sappy. I feel like I'm gonna look back and listen to this and just know what I was feeling in the moment, and it's tough. So if you're watching this and you're going through the same wave, it gets better. It'll always get better. I think there's days where you just feel like you're not enough, but then you wake up tomorrow. Like as long as you can get through this day, you're always going to be better the next day. And then tomorrow you just feel like more rejuvenated, more ready to go. I think like I'm just feeling a little bit more short-tempered, and my patience is a little bit thinner. So I really have to focus more in and accept that I am human. But I also too, I know on the inside I can make better decisions in the moment as well. So we made it this far. Thanks for watching. And yeah, 25 weeks. We're getting close. I think I have maybe a couple more monthly appointments, and then we get into the bi-weekly, and then by the time I know it, it'll be May. Our baby will be here. So I'm very excited. Well, this journey is to be continued.